I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's Trader to the Living here, down in the studio on my Sunday, just patching around on the 2600 with my little Moog trio here, making noises and sounds and weird stuff that I'll use for sample fodder that I'll take and drop into the SP404 MPC or Digitact and mangle and chop up and make samples with. Something I do frequently is I'll make noise and sounds on all different equipment, and I like to just sample it to have my own samples and make music with. But I wanted to talk today about the B word.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Now, this is something I was never going to talk about or get into, but I've been asked a lot about Behringer lately and had friends and people reach out to me, especially with the latest releases over the last month or two of the Moogs clones of the Subharmonicon and DFAM. And I know they've had the one that was the Mother 32 out for some time. But people ask me, like, oh man, are you mad?
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
Are you pissed off that they're cloning stuff that you own? And you know, and the answer is no. I'm not angry. I'm not mad. I mean, I own a 2600.
Just what do you think you're doing, Dave?
Now, when they do products like that are unattainable old stuff, that, I mean, I've been fascinated with the ARP 2600 since I was a child, hearing it in movie soundtracks and stuff. And it's always been something that's just completely out of reach, unattainable. There was only so many made, and they're incredibly expensive, and it was just something I never would have had a chance to play with, let alone have one in my studio. Now, I fully acknowledge that the Behringer version of the 2600 probably does not sound identical or is the same thing as owning an original 2600. Now, is it close? I think in some ways they're close. From what I understand, 2600s from one to the other of those old ones sound different. So, you know, having it in my studio has been like literally a dream come true. I'll be patching and experimenting on this thing for the rest of my life. And it's amazing with the Moogs. Now, so when Behringer does these old, you know, synthesizers that are incredibly expensive, they're not made anymore, I think that's kind of cool. You know, for me, I'm not interested in all of them, but there's if they do a Buchla or a Synthi or some of these old ones, I might be interested in that. Now, I know they do the Model D, which you can still, they do make the re-release of the Mini Moog, and Behringer's a couple $100 or whatever it is, and then you got $4,000 or $5,000 for the original. Does it sound the same? Probably not exactly. Is it close? Seems like it. I've heard a lot of all their synths. People seem to really like the Model D a lot, along with the 2600. Now, when it comes to stuff that's still available from other manufacturers making it, like the Mother 32 DFAM Subharmonicon, like the Key Step from Arturia, that they've released their own cloned version of, that stuff, it doesn't make me mad. I don't get angry, but I'm not really into it. I'm not like excited when I see them like taking another manufacturer's current product and re-releasing it at a cheaper price. Ethically, it just seems kind of not so good.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape!
You know, it's awesome, the old stuff. The new stuff, I just think it's kind of lame in a way, actually, but it is what it is, and it doesn't make me mad. Now, I got my DFAM Mother 32 few years ago, before the Sound Studio was released, and then later added the Subharmonicon.
These go to 11.
So I've had them for quite a while. To me, they're not in that level of way expensive, unattainable, like say the 2600 is, because you can find them on Reverb used for $500-600. To me, that's something you could easily save up for, and I'm happy to have the real ones. I like the black, the look of them and stuff. The ones Behringer's doing with the 80s hot purple colors and stuff just doesn't appeal to me at all. And that you can't rack them up and stuff. But I'm not mad about it. And when people ask, like, you must be pissed off, it's no, I'm not at all. I'm happy to have what I have. If people can have a full setup of these three for the price of basically one, then it is what it is. I'm not gonna be that guy who's like got the vintage synth collection and is just like furious with Behringer. But I'm also not going to be one of those Behringer fanboys that defends them to the death. And there's so much banter online, and it's been such a hot topic. And I never wanted to talk about it in a video, but I've just been asked about it so much. And with these coming out, I just, thought I'd give my little opinion. Hopefully I'll never speak about it again. I don't talk about manufacturers and companies very often. I'll talk about the gear. And in my studio, with Behringer, I have a mixer that I've had for over 20 years now that has been like a tank, still works. I use it with the test equipment. I've got a couple of their processors I've had for decades, a compressor and a Virtualizer Pro effects. They're functional, and I still find a use for them, and that's why they're in the rack. Other than that, I owned a bass head for my bass cabinet when I used to play in bands live, that I used a Behringer one. It was affordable and what I could get at the time, and it worked, and it sounded all right. I used it for 3 years or 4 years maybe before I got something different. So I've got a bit of a history with them as a company, but I'm not like a fanboy, and I'm not a fanboy of any company. I've got Moog in here, I've got Akai, I've got Yamaha, Kawai, Roland, Arturia and Electron, and the list goes on of different stuff that I have from manufacturers. And I judge things more from a manufacturer off of the product than I do necessarily them as a company. Now, I know there's been some ethical behavior from Uli Behringer, apparently, that has really upset a lot of people.
Shall not pass!
I don't follow that stuff too much. I think that there's ethical issues with most any large corporate entity, whether it be Akai or Roland, Yamaha. Now, Behringer, they have this, thing about them that it's either people hate them or, they're unbelievably devoted from the looks of it anyway, from the outside. But I'm not going to participate in any of that. And like I said, it doesn't really sit right with me to see them, I don't want to say ripping off, but, taking, excuse me, modern products from companies that are still trying to make money off of them and profiting from making cheaper versions that they reverse engineered, apparently.
The snozberries taste like snozberries.
But it doesn't make me mad. And I'm just not going to buy those products. Now, like I said, they release something else like the 2600 that's something I would always want and never can have. I might consider getting something else. But yeah, I just thought I'd talk about it. I'm not pissed. So you shouldn't be either if you have the originals. So that's my thoughts on the B word. And let's just make music with whatever gear you can get. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.